Here's a video no one asked for. theScore Esports uploaded a video yesterday regarding Gootecks and the removal of PogChamp, and I think they got the situation wrong. So, despite what they asked, I'm going to add them. I'll lay out my 3 main points right here in the opening. PogChamp is not Gootecks. theScore is wrong about Gootecks, and none of this matters. First up, PogChamp is not Gootecks. It may be his face that generated the emote, but Hassan is right.
I don't know what he tweeted out today, but it doesn't matter though. That fucking face is like transcended the person itself.
I didn't think I'd start out 2021 by agreeing with anything Hassan Piker had to say. In this case though, I'd wholly agree. PogChamp is a transcendent entity at this point. It's a meme.
Now there's a pretty meme. Exquisite.
A part of the genetics of our shared culture as people of the internet. Removing PogChamp is not because people look at PogChamp and think about Gootecks. It's strictly out of spite for a relatively bog-standard right-wing talking point about media hypocrisy and outrage manufacturing. The irony is as deep and bitter as a tar pit. theScore is wrong about Gootecks.
Over on his Twitter, he's told his friends to use hydrochloroquine to treat COVID-19, which, in case you weren't aware, has actually killed people who used it for that purpose. And that's not the only tweet. Gootecks has been peddling dangerous COVID conspiracy theories since at least August.
Gootecks specifically said hydroxychloroquine, which is malaria medicine, in both of the tweets they link from him, but they link to a study about someone who died from taking chloroquine phosphate, which is a fish tank cleaner. I'm going to attribute this to ignorance and not malice on the part of theScore, since the two words are similar, but I definitely will encourage them in the future to do a little more research than just word association and headline skimming. With that cleared up, look at the rest of what his tweet was encouraging: alternative medicine and taking vitamins while you're sick. In fact, he didn't even say to do these things, just that there was information available about it. Now, I'm not somebody who rubs essential oils on every bruise and scrape, but I greatly prefer the idea of natural remedies to things as well as medical intervention. Regarding Gootecks' statement on the podcast,
yeah, be sure to vaccinate. Right, Gootecks?
I think everybody should be free to do whatever they want with their body.
This is a standard libertarian perspective. You should be allowed to do whatever you want with your own body and life to the extent that it does not interfere with others' ability to do the same. In the words of Ron Swanson, if you want to balloon up to 400 pounds and die of a heart attack at 42, you may. You are free to do so. When I say libertarian, I don't mean libertarian political party. I mean libertarian mindset as opposed to authoritarian mindset. I don't want to get into my own personal politics too much, but I agree with this perspective. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you shouldn't have to. Now, I'm a big proponent of wearing masks in public settings because that protects the people around you. Vaccinations and medications, however, protect you. If you want to run the risk of contracting a deadly disease and dying, that should be up to you. Finally, let's look at Gootecks' statements regarding the Capitol building raid. You could only come to the conclusion that he was advocating for further violence if you read his statements incredibly uncharitably. In defense of theScore, they did point out that there's multiple different opinions about this and that people disagree about it, meaning there's ambiguity. However, it's very clear from the way they slanted the video what their opinion on this is. From all appearances, as I mentioned earlier in the video, he was just pointing out that over 2020 we've had massive protests and civil unrest, from relatively unambiguous situations like the unjust killing of George Floyd, to very divisive ones like lockdown protests or the hostile takeover of the Chaz. He was asking where the outrage was over a woman who was shot in a politically charged situation. This is not a call for violent insurrection. This is a standard commentary line about how the outrage machine picks and chooses what she'll get mad about. It doesn't matter whether PogChamp is removed and replaced or not. I think this is where people get caught in the weeds. I can already imagine the arguments of, "Don't be so upset, it's just an emote, you'll live without it," and the response of, "If it's just an emote, why are you so upset it needs to be removed?" I think these kinds of arguments are fundamentally missing the point. The point is that you and I were not asked if we wanted it removed. We were told that it was being removed because Twitch politically disagreed with the person whose face it resembled. The emote and its removal are not the problem. They're just symptoms of the larger problem of the belief that only one set of politics is to be tolerated and that the other is dangerous. Removing PogChamp doesn't remove or change people's opinions of Gootecks. Leaving it alone wouldn't change people's opinions of Gootecks. All removing it does is cement people into their own camps even more, ironically immortalizing it in everyone's minds as either a hate symbol or a symbol of big tech censorship. This top-down, prescriptive method of political acceptability is what's causing the divisiveness in today's society. I don't know how to fix it. I'm just one guy who can't affect much other than stop using Twitch myself and encourage others to escape the platform. I really wish I could leave you with something more positive, but frankly I'm discouraged that there's nowhere to go to escape politics anymore. I can't even use an excited emoji in a chat while watching Apex Legends without someone bringing politics into it. The golden age of the internet is over. I can only hope that this dark age collapses soon and gives way to a renaissance.